Welcome back. Well, the lifting of the alcohol ban has made many people happy, but a big price has been paid due to multiple bans in the sector, with job losses and some businesses being forced to close down. So what can affected industries do to rebuild? I'm joined now via Skype by Wendy Alberts from the Restaurant Association of South Africa. Wendy, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. So I'm guessing you no longer have to be outside the union buildings with a table and chair asking for alcohol bans to be lifted. It's a good move, of course, for the industry. Let's start there.
Absolutely. We are eternally grateful that the ban on alcohol and the curfew is lifted. Gives us the ability to trade our businesses in a sophisticated manner that we have built them on. And we certainly are thankful for the President for giving urgency to the critical state of the restaurant industry. So whilst it's all celebrations that we have reopened and many people are very tearful and emotional to come back to work and restaurants can certainly trade and have a fair opportunity to try and save their businesses, I certainly hope wholeheartedly that it's not too late for many of the operators who've really been holding on by a thread.
Yeah, and that's the next question. Do you know how many people actually had to close down these past couple of weeks because of that booze ban?
What we did is we obviously ran the survey on the onset, which showed 7% of restaurants were imminently closing their doors through the first few days that we were protesting at the union buildings. A further 23% indicated that they would be closing by Sunday if the liquor ban and the curfew hadn't been lifted. So we now will run a further survey in 2 weeks' time. Will give the industry an opportunity just to stabilise itself, to balance itself out through the next weeks. We're certainly calling on every aspect of our industry to get reprieve. We've run to the banks, we've asked them for some cash flow, unsecured loans. We are desperately talking to the landlords, thanking those landlords who are hero landlords, and we are desperately pleading to those landlords who do not see any type of reprieve for the industry. We're also talking to the various ministers in terms of the lifting of that National Bargaining Council, the UIF, the TERS, and a number of other critical issues. This afternoon, straight after this interview, we've got a very, very critical meeting with one of the major insurance companies who hasn't paid out those insurance claims. We're going to see if we can get that expedited and get some balance there for those operators who are desperate for the claims that need to be paid over to them to bring cash flow in. So it's all about cash flow, it's all about timing. I guess it's all about getting the consumer and our beautiful patrons back into our business. There are a lot of components right now that we need to shuffle to really truly understand how critical the industry is. So if we open the doors and we have a lot of support from the public and the beautiful people of South Africa, that's one element. The next element is certainly the landlords, which I know they're always also just as exhausted as what we are, trying to find measures to pay their bills. And also the suppliers need to play a role. We contacted various suppliers today and asked for support. And it's very concerning that they don't feel that they have a role to play in the rebuilding of the industry, whilst I know that they've also been hit hard. If we all support each other through this time and we find a balance of unity, we can certainly revive the industry, but we're not going to revive the industry standing without any support. So we certainly are calling on these models, calling on all parts to look wherever we can to bring stability and rebuild the industry.
And very quickly, of course, if there is a third wave, the likelihood is that there will probably be another ban on alcohol sales. And everyone I spoke to last night after the President's address, they said there needs to be some level of certainty so that these industries can actually rebuild. I'm guessing you would agree with that.
These are conversations that we have certainly written to the different ministerial divisions today, saying, look, we need to open these lines of communication. Let's talk. We should be learning from the mistakes we made through the last year, through the various levels, and it can't be an either or. These need to be conversations on how we can support government in ensuring that we play our part responsibly in bringing down the curve, and that we also mobilise the behaviour of the consumer in terms of their alcohol standards. We certainly can deliver an experience within the restaurant sector in a safe space. We've got all the necessary protocols to be able to do it. And we are calling on every single restaurateur to make that true promise to their businesses and the beautiful people. If there's one industry that does not get touched through the next wave, it cannot be the restaurant industry. And, as an advocate for the industry, we will do everything that we possibly can to continue to put out that positive messaging, that in turn, if there is a further ban, that we are not affected by it. We can't restart our businesses like we did in November, to be closed down 6 weeks into the trade with massive stock that's expired, cash flow issues, the demands, the letters of demands, the legal letters, the lawyers' letters. We're not in this position because we're bad operators. It's just by the situation and where we sit within the position level of curfew and the position level of the alcohol ban that put us into the state. We're trying to play our part responsibly, and there is no reprieve from any corners to be able to support the restaurant industry financially. So we have to really have these deep conversations with government to look at solutions that has the least financial impact on the South African restaurant industry.
All right, thank you so much for your insights. Appreciate it. Wendy Alberts from the Restaurant Association of South Africa.